Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity, practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. Okay, welcome back to Reframe Master Podcast. When it's concerned books, it's episode 9, another part of the business of science as well is being bad at the job, and that's one of the thing about it. Because when I started my work, the employment that I'm in now, I was not the best, but I went through training, and then even when I was on the job training, I was not the best. There was a lot of people who were better than me, but I outlasted them. And because I outlasted them and reached this far, I'm actually performing better because I took the criticism and started doing better and stuff like that. And then I'm in a better position. And it's not to say it's not a way to brag or anything like that, but it's one of those things that you have to recognize. When you're actually starting the business, that you have to be able to um, recognize that it takes time for a person to actually get competent in the company. So you have one of those things is that you have to actually learn all those things that I went through. You have to learn a good timeline to actually effectively get someone fully prepared for the job, because the science work is not something easy. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. So it's like you have to be able to be able to actually go through proper prepare them of all the stuff. You learn those stuff in school. You learn all those stuff in school and stuff. But to do it in a job in a high pace rate place like the business world, you have to actually have proper training. And one of the things is that I realize is, so as I said, there's limited jobs in the science field or stuff like that. So one of the thing is that you, a science person, you come out of college and then you will go into another industry that is not in science. So it's like you kind of lose that science ability. And then what happened is that because you actually was going to another industry that is not science, when you finally get that science job, kind of rusty in the science because you have been doing it for a while. So yeah, when you're going through training, it's like you're actually learning it over again. And then in the business world, you're kind of sloppy at it, kind of sloppy at it. So one of the thing is you have to actually work on to get the science dream alive. You have to actually build this infrastructure so that it can actually accommodate. For example, like the job that I'm in now is really high. It's like a lot of people can just go there and get hired, but at a certain point there was it may not be like that, but it is now. I know it's look like a low level job or a common job, but there was a point in time before the industrial revolution and such like that where when the industrial revolution came in, this was a high level job. What they're doing now was a high level job, or where you know in certain cases this is a high level job in doing the work and realizing what they're doing. This is a high level job compared to actually what they had before, farming and stuff like that, auto and agriculture and stuff before the industrial revolution. But in farming and stuff are important, and it's one of those things is you have to. It's important to learn the basic way they actually did farming before you actually go to the futuristic way that they do farming now, the industrialized version. Because the industrialized version has a lot of less nutrients than how the way the normal way goes. And what one of the things that I was talking about in many of our episodes where they don't rush it, in a sense that it's important to learn all the basic steps, all the important things about farming, so that you can actually learn how to properly upgrade it and make it better. Properly upgrade and make it better. When you actually properly upgrade and make it better now, then you'll be like, okay, the nutrients and quality doesn't um, go away, but your quality of making more products and stuff like that is more. So it's same thing again with the customer service job. The it was a one time a commodity. You have to be certain level to actually be able to do this job. But more it's more industrialized, where a lot of people are coming out with degrees and stuff like that. So this is the common job that can get, and because it's so common that people, because all the skills that the customer service job takes is skills that it's easily learned, and it becomes a commodity and a low level job. Maybe in the far future that will be the same for science, but in the start it will be a high level job that it requires high competency, and then people will be like, okay, you have to actually go through certain training and such. And because what may happen is that because certain science people may be were is in another industry, when they actually get this big dream alive, then you'll be like, okay, when I hire you, it will take a while for you to actually get into the business world of science, because then you'll be kind of rusty. So that's one of the things is you have to actually take some time to actually wait for them to actually get ready for it. So that's basically for this episode. Thank you for listening, and look forward for the next episode.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
Remember, we're in the second year of this home ownership. And one of the things is that if you mention, if you remember the episode previous where I talked about, you're the seat. One of the nice thing about the best thing about the home is the dirt, or the place that you can use for like farming. One of the things that I realized is that farming is a skill. It's a skill that you have to actually take the time to actually learn. Because when you actually learn it well, then you can actually use it to its full potential, along with knowledge, science knowledge and stuff like that, to advance it. But you have to learn the basics. You have to learn the basics and understand why certain. Because what happened was that, so like in the first year when I actually started the home ownership, what happened was that I was getting all these plants and fruits and stuff like that, and it was great, But what happened